9 months ago, Ava had never photographed an elopement. She didn't have a portfolio or a website or an Instagram. She just had a dream. But she joined the mastermind and implemented every single strategy I gave her. No dragging her feet, no skipping steps. And her first booking was in April for Italy at $8,800 USD. And she's already brought in over $42,000 in elopements since. And that's living in Estonia. This episode is proof that when you fully commit and follow the plan, it works. You're going to want to hear what she has to say because I know you're going to find inspiration in her story. Welcome to Stoked, the podcast that helps adventure elopement photographers hit six figures and beyond in their businesses without hustling on social media. I'm your host, Megan McPhail, a former burnt-out emergency veterinarian that quit my hard-earned career to become an elopement photographer. Now I'm living a life I absolutely love, full of travel, adventure, and financial abundance, and I am hell-bent on helping you do the same. Are you ready to start booking out your calendar with dream couples in breathtaking locations and feeling genuinely stoked about your elopement photography business, life, and bank account? Then let's dive into this week's episode. Hey, it's your host, Megan McPhail, and I'm really excited to introduce you to today's podcast guest. Her name is Ava Johanna Lepik. She's an Estonia-based elopement photographer that primarily serves Italy, but also Portugal and Thailand, and she's awesome. I can't wait to share her story today. Welcome to the podcast, Ava.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm so excited to talk about all the things that we're going to talk about today. But let's give a little backstory to the listeners because you basically decided like 9 months ago that you wanted to be an adventure elopement photographer and you joined my mastermind, which is amazing. But where were you at in your photography journey before you decided you wanted to go all in on elopements?
So this is a very good question. Before I discovered your podcast, I did family sessions, couple sessions, like little micro weddings, elopements in Estonia, where I am from. But I did realize that I need, to earn more to provide for the family, to secure our future. And I was trying to find out a way how to earn more and have more fun by doing it all because I do love photography. I asked myself, if I didn't have to work for money ever again, what would I do like in my daily life? And I said, I would still do photography because I love it that much. I really enjoy it all. And that was like a clear sign to me, okay, it's still going to be photography. So now how do I get money from it? And then I was listening to different podcasts. I listened to several ones, actually. Some of them talked about luxury weddings, but I quite quickly realized that this is not for me. I could not be, I don't know, dressed up fancily. I'm not more like the pants kind of girl. And I understood that if I were to do luxury weddings, my client would be the wedding planner, not the couple itself. But I thrive on the connection between me and the couple. We become friends. It's like very, very close friendship that is formed in all of this. And I couldn't be working for the wedding planner. So moved on from this podcast and stumbled onto yours.
Yay!
And I just fell in love with everything about it. I had never heard of adventure elopements before. Here in Estonia, people have no idea what it is. It doesn't exist for us. We literally don't have a word for elopement in Estonian language. I fell in love with the idea of doing it because I love adventuring. I love traveling and I love hiking and taking like beautiful photos, especially of other people. I don't love being in front of the camera myself, but I love taking beautiful photos of beautiful people in beautiful places. And this ticked all of the boxes I want to have in a job. So I contacted you. I remember the call we had.
Me too.
I told you quite quickly, this isn't the sales call for me. I'm ready. Just tell me where to pay, where to sign. I mean, let's do this right now.
Yeah, I've never had a sales call like that before. I was like, I'm in love with you, Ava. Like, Like, I am in love with the fact that you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be an adventure elopement photographer. I've only heard about this on a podcast, but it's for me and let's make it happen. And you have made it happen, which is amazing. So let's talk about, okay, you really wanted to book elopements in Italy. Why Italy?
Well, Estonia is a very small country. People usually don't know where it is, what it is. Therefore, it's quite difficult to get foreign couples to come here. And Italy is just a short flight away. I mean, it's in Europe. It's very easy to work abroad if you are from European Union. So working in another EU country is very easy. And Italy has one of the biggest wedding industries in the entire world. So it seems like a good start to start out the business there and then see where the future is going to bring me.
Mm-hmm.
And geopolitically speaking, Estonia is probably not the best country to bring couples to since we are located right next to Russia. It has its own dangers in that.
Mm-hmm. And you're right next to Ukraine too.
Ukraine is a little bit more south, but it is, yeah, it's like 400 miles. Not too far, but still quite close. Yeah.
So I know that the conflict in Ukraine with Russia was one of the reasons you also wanted to pursue this because you have two little girls at home and you wanted to provide for them.
Yeah, it was a scary time when the war started. To be honest, I had just given birth to my first daughter, and she wasn't even 3 weeks old when the war started. And if you have the hormones running from giving birth, and then something like this happens so close to home and you don't know where it's going to go, it was so scary. I cried every day. It was
Oh,
horrible. And it made me realize that I need a job that can provide for us even when we have to get out of the country. And this is one of the reasons I started this business because I hope it doesn't happen. But if the war were to escalate and we have to get out of the country, I can still provide for the family as long as I have the camera gear with me.
yeah.
So I can basically work from anywhere. And I do feel much safer now that I have the business built up and I can work from anywhere.
Yeah, that feeling of safety must mean so much to you. I think that's what a lot of us are chasing after when we build our businesses is we do want some freedom but also some stability, and I feel like that you've totally achieved that.
Yeah, it's so much better now. It's weird living in a country that is so close to war. And I literally live like 30 minutes from the Russian border. So
Oh my gosh.
if it all were to escalate one day, my home would literally be one of the first ones to be affected.
Mm,
Even though there is no war happening on the Estonian soil, there are things still happening. I think these things aren't talked about in the news in the US,
mhm.
but like between Estonia, Finland, and Russia, there is a sea, and underneath the sea, there are pipelines transporting electricity and gas and everything. And every now and then, there are ships accidentally driving with their anchors down, breaking the pipelines, stuff like that. And it happens like every other month. So it's weird. It's so weird. It makes you think of the future every now and then again. Are we safe?
Yeah.
Do we need to go? And we have even like emergency bags packed in case we
Wow.
need to go. But yeah, it has made me feel much more secure now that I have the business built up. I have bookings
Mhm.
coming in and we have a future.
Oh, I love that for you. I mean, you've already mentioned so many things where it's like why you wanted to do this. And it's like for safety, for your daughters, for yourself, because you love travel and adventure and hiking and being outdoors. You love photography, you love connection and like an emotional connection with your couples. And like, yeah, this is just the perfect business for you to start with all of those things, you know? So you came to me with what we like to refer to as a healthy case of delulu or delusion, right? Like you were like, I'm going to do this. And you jumped in to the program and literally did everything that I asked you to do. And it all worked out. So let's talk about some of your wins before we kind of go into some of the deeper stuff because people love the numbers. It's not all about the numbers, but it is going to inspire people, right? So you've booked 5 things since you joined, which is crazy for like a total of over $42,000. So you've made back your investment in these 9 months. Did you think that you were going to hit those numbers, like you are delusional. So you might have thought that.
So of course I was hoping for that, but
Yeah.
I think I achieved all of my goals that I had for the first year, which is great. But I think it surprised me that it was easier than I thought. It
Mm.
was of course a lot of work, but when the Google ads were running, the website was built up and the copy was targeting the right people, then actually the sales calls and everything, they went really well and the bookings came very easily, I'd
Yeah.
say, because they were the right people calling out to me.
And you've described them as dream couples.
Yeah, they are. And all the things we have planned for them for the next year, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
And these are primarily in like the Dolomites in Italy. Where else have you booked?
Most of them are in Dolomites. Then I have Lake Como, also Sardinia, Tuscany. So yeah, beautiful places. And for next year, it's also going to be one in Portugal on Madeira Island, which is great.
That's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
I'm like so jealous. I'm so jealous that you can just fly to these locations so easily because it's a whole ordeal for us from the US, right? But yeah, you get to just like pop right over and
Yeah, I
so
can. It's so cool. And I was just wondering a couple of weeks ago, it was less than 2 years ago when I asked my Instagram followers on my personal account if they could have any kind of photo shoot anywhere. The money doesn't matter, the time doesn't matter. Like you can go nuts, just dream big. And one of my friends wrote that she would do a hot air balloon ride over the Alps and get married this way. And I was so mind blown. Oh my God, who does that? You have to be extremely rich and I don't know, like have portfolio for over 20 years as photographer to do something like that. And 1 year later, I was literally planning an elopement in the Dolomites with a hot air balloon ride over the mountains. And it felt so surreal. I still can't believe this took place. It was so crazy.
I have like goosebumps thinking about that because to go from like thinking that's such a far off, crazy thing to be able to photograph to then in a year planning it, I feel like people think these things have to take so long and that you have to struggle so hard and stuff. And like it just doesn't have to be that way. It's really like a mindset block that people have. And I think I would love for you to talk more about how your mindset has been through this because you've just gone after it, but a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people just struggle with going after their goals like full throttle, you know? So, like, what has your mindset been like through this?
So I think one of the main things is taking steps. So the moment I stumbled on your podcast, I was at this point where I could not allow myself postpone taking steps towards my dream future anymore. I
Yeah.
had been dreaming big for so long, but I did not take steps. And when I reached out to you, I was at the very last on this very last level of this and I decided I'm going to go all in. I don't care
Mhm.
what everybody else thinks. I'm going to do this. This is for me. I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to do it and I'm going to take steps now. No more backing out. And this is how the call actually went
Yeah.
as we talked before. And this also applies to the very same topic we just discussed with the hot air balloon ride. It seems so far fetched, so far away. But if you actually take the steps, it can happen very fast. You don't have to wait for 10 years to get to this point. You can do it way faster if you just start taking steps. You can take babies even. Just do something.
Yeah,
Yeah, stop
exactly.
postponing things. And this is one of the recommendation I would give to everybody. Stop postponing. Start yesterday.
Yeah. And the baby steps thing, people think, oh, little baby steps aren't enough. And like they can get you far, those baby steps, you
Yeah,
know?
you can. I love the quote you said that the dot tells you how to eat an elephant.
Oh, yeah.
One
One
bite
bite
at a
at a time. Yep. I love that quote. He still reminds me that sometimes where he'll just be like, "How do you eat an elephant, Megan?" You know, and now I use that with everyone too. Hiking's a great example too, where if you look up at the mountain, it looks really scary, you know, like it makes you want to quit before you even start. But if you just put your head down and watch your feet take one step at a time, all of a sudden you're up at that summit. It really does work.
Yeah. And the thing with being scared is it's so okay to be scared. And I remember one of the mastermind calls we had, we talked about being scared and being excited. And you said it's a two-sided coin. And I love this analogy because it really is. And I think it is up to us, each and every one of us, to decide which side stays on top. For me, it's always excitement. And I'm not saying that I'm not scared. I am scared of using up all of my savings for the mastermind, to the style shoots, to travel there, to build up the portfolio. It has taken a lot of money, I'm not going to lie. But I'm
Mhm.
also so excited to do this. And I know it's going to be worthwhile.
Yeah.
It can be scary, but it can also be amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, anything worth doing is going to be scary because it's outside of your comfort zone and it's something you've never done before. So it's just going to inherently be scary and uncomfortable. And if you haven't really practiced going through those feelings and feeling them and getting through to the other side where you do start seeing results and all the hard work and feelings are worth it, then it can be really hard. So have you ever had like imposter syndrome or any like you said, like, you're focusing on excitement, you're just really loving all this stuff, but, like, what are the negative feelings you're having as you're building your business this year?
So, generally speaking, I think mindset wise, I have always been in a good place and I'm not doubting myself. My brain usually tells me things like this: if anybody is going to achieve it, it's you. If anybody can do it, it's you. It can be
That's
scary, but
amazing.
it's fine. It's all going to be worth it. So, my mind is giving me positive things and I'm not going to let it talk badly about myself. And I remember one other mastermind call we had when we talked about mindset blocks, and everybody was talking what their mind is telling them. And a lot of them had a lot of doubts about their capabilities, imposter syndrome, and so on. And I just remember this quote that if your friend is having a rough time, not believing in himself, what would you say to him? What would you say to a friend?
Mhm. You can do it. You're
Yes,
amazing, you've done hard things, like, this is nothing for you, you're so cool and talented, like, you're gonna kick ass, don't worry about it, like,
exactly.
yeah.
And
Mm,
Megan, now, if you are in a rough spot, what do you want people to tell you?
that same stuff.
And why the heck should you tell yourself something different than that?
Yeah. And so many people do, and
Yeah,
it's so sad. They have so much negative self-talk in their head, and it
yeah,
really does hold them back from accomplishing a lot of things. But you can rewire that. You can talk to yourself. You can be like, "Shut the hell up, brain," and, like, talk to yourself like, "You've done hard things. You can do this." I used to tell myself that because I used to do surgeries, emergency surgeries. I used to amputate limbs. I used to do C-sections and
oh
deliver
my god.
little puppies, like I used to do emergency surgeries, removing bleeding spleens where like time was of the essence and stuff. And I used to tell myself, if you can do these surgeries, like if you can save lives and stuff, you can build a freaking photography business, Megan.
Of course,
So
100%. And we are so much more capable than we think of
yeah.
ourselves. It's
Hmm.
crazy what our bodies, our minds can actually do. It's unbelievable. And I've gone through some really rough times myself. It might sound like I have everything worked out, but I think it's the mindset that helps you come through all kinds of difficult situations in the life. And even bad things can be thought positively of. But I do get imposter syndrome too. Every now and
You
then,
have
and
to at some point.
actually one very specific point in time when this happens, and it's right after I have sent out the contract and the invoice and they haven't paid. In this time frame, I go over my head over 1000 things that I could have done wrong or said that made them back out now. And this I get up until they sign and pay the invoice. And this is where I get the imposter syndrome. Even though nobody has ever backed out,
Yeah.
I have actually no reason to believe this.
Yeah,
and,
right?
and then I just remind my brain of the fact that nobody has ever backed out. And it's totally fine. It's just my brain worrying, and it's okay. but nothing's going to happen. And if it doesn't work out, maybe it wasn't meant to be.
I think that's a really healthy way to think about it is like, yeah, nobody's backed out before. They're probably just busy. They probably just have a million things in their inbox, and they're going to get to it. It's okay. But that's like, I feel like that's totally normal to kind of have to like talk yourself through those things sometimes. And eloping couples they can take their time sometimes.
Yes, of course. You know how busy life can get. And
Yeah.
sometimes it just takes time. And in one of the cases, it took like over a week for them to sign and to pay. And they contacted me after I had gone over a million things in my head. And I just found out they were actually switching jobs. So they had like a lot on their plate. And it was
Mhm.
totally fine, actually. And they were going to sign and pay anyway. So
Yeah.
it had nothing to do with me.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so, what is one of the things that you realized that you have when you join the mastermind? Because a lot of us in there have it.
Yeah, it was so funny. I had no clue I had it up until I joined the mastermind. And then I realized I have ADHD because
Yeah.
everybody in there had it. And we were talking about it. And I also listened to your podcast episode about it. And I remember my brain going like, I got this. I got it all. I think I
Yeah.
have ADHD.
Yeah. Somehow I created a program for the neurodivergent before I even really knew I was neurodivergent, and now it's all just all of us ADHDers in there trying to get our
Yeah,
shit together.
but it's so helpful to have like-minded people all
Mhm.
together sharing the same problems.
Yeah, same problems, same tips. Yeah, we're all going through the same struggles. Yeah, I feel like there's very good company inside the mastermind.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. And well, ever since I realized that I have it, I made myself a promise that I'm not gonna let it be in my way. And if anything, I'm going to make this work to my advantage. A lot of leaders have ADHD and they are successful because of some of the traits that come with ADHD. I've learned to live with it. And there are still piles of messy clothes and dishes that do not wash themselves. But I try to overrule my brain that isn't bothered by it to understand that I am in charge. I still decide to clean it up every now and then. And that has made the life easier for me and for the entire family who does not have ADHD. They are bothered by stuff like that. But you can still override your brain when you acknowledge that you have it. And I also have this nice skill of hyperfocus that comes with
Mhm.
ADHD. And for me, hyperfocus is activated on an elopement day. And also when I do business side on my computer. And this is where I get so hyper focused. I have no idea what's going on around me. I literally cannot hear my kids crying next to me.
Oh my
I'm
god.
that focused. This is the moment when I realize I have to hire a babysitter for when I'm working because it doesn't work out well otherwise.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, you gotta love what you're doing if you're gonna hyper focus that hard.
Yeah, really. And I put my business into my hyper focus area. So everything I do, I get it usually done faster by other people without ADHD. I get done more in the same amount of time that they would. And this is why I'm actually quite grateful that I have ADHD.
Yeah, I think it's helped me in a lot of ways in my business, but, my personal life, like, I don't always wash my face. I don't always do laundry.
Yeah,
Todd has to do the dishes, like, those things don't interest me, so I can't do it.
you find ways, definitely. Also, one thing I found that has helped me and also my couples is that I have started to write things down. I don't want to forget anything because my brain has a million things running in it constantly. And well, some things can be forgotten because of that. And I've started to write things down. And after each call with the clients, be it a client or a potential client, I send them call notes and write it all down after the call. I send them right away after the call so that I would not forget. And they actually love it. I do it for my ADHD, not for them primarily, but they love it because they have it all in writing too. And it makes it all so much clearer and more thorough, everything I do.
We all think we're going to remember this stuff, right? Like, of course I'm going to remember that conversation. It's like, no, you're not going to
No.
remember it. You better write it down and email it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So, what would you tell the struggling elopement photographers out there, or maybe even the photographers who haven't yet committed to the dream of being an elopement photographer, even though it's on their mind? Maybe they've just finished a really busy wedding season and they're sick of it and they want to change. What would you tell these people that are kind of like in a point in their life where they want to pivot, but they're afraid to?
Start yesterday, as I said before. I think it's very
Yeah.
important. Don't postpone, just do it. It's gonna be worth it. It's so cool. Being an adventure elopement photographer, it's the best job in the world. It
Yeah,
doesn't get better than this. It really is
I
amazing.
totally agree.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that you have a job like this. It doesn't feel like a job. And the other recommendation would be to have a great mindset and to believe in yourself, because mindset is the basis for everything. It's the basic layer, it's the foundation. You're going to build everything on top of it. And the easiest answer is actually to join the mastermind because it walks you through everything. I would never in my life have gotten this far, this fast, if it wasn't for, like, literally. And the business side is very wide if you think of it. There are so many things to do, and the mastermind course gives you the steps in the right order. And actually, one of the things that I loved about the mastermind was that even though there are like certain steps to take and descriptions of how to do things, you can still do it in your own way. You have room for that. It's not that narrow or fixed. You still have room to be yourself in it all. And I love it. This is probably because no mastermind students' website look the same or their social media accounts aren't the same.
Mhm.
They're all different because they are still true to themselves. And this is like a very important part to remain being yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree, and because I didn't realize I had ADHD at the beginning, but I noticed that so many people have different strengths, different weaknesses, different things that they really can do or that they can outsource or that they love or that they dislike. That was such an important part of the program for me to kind of like incorporate that stuff. And like, what would you say? Because I know you're very values based. Like, what are some of the values that you've built your business on while you were like working through the program?
I think one thing that helped me a lot was to put myself in the client's shoes and think of that every step of the way. If you go on a website, I hate it when I have to inquire to get a pricing. I want to see it. This is why my website has a concrete price, no minimum or maximum prices, a concrete number to elope in Italy. As easy, as simple as possible. I get less inquiries, but I get very good inquiries. And I love this. And actually, we barely talk about the pricing on the call because it isn't the topic, because they already know what the pricing is. It's very clear to everybody. And then you get the inquiry response. If I were to plan an elopement and I write to a photographer, I'm so excited. I want to hear back right away. So
Mhm.
I made sure that my inquiry responses are very fast. They are very thorough, energetic, because I'm very energetic and I want this to shine through. And I want them also to be very personalized. So I do take my time to answer them in a personalized approach based on everything they have written me. Of course, some of this is as a canned email base, but I do personalize it a lot. And I also use a lot of smileys and friendly talk because this is just how I am. And if it scares the wrong people off, then so be it. I'm totally fine with it. But this
Yeah.
should bring the right couples to me. So this is like another layer of filters.
Yeah, and you said you're booking your dream couples. I mean, you said all your couples are your dream couples, which is so I mean, that's the goal. That's also what makes this business the best job in the world is because you get to work with your friends essentially
Yes,
in the
yes.
most beautiful places in the world.
Yeah. And it's so cool. I just love it all so much. And one other thing that I thought that I would want is I want everything to be as simple as possible. So scheduling a consult call or signing a contract or paying the retainer. It all has to be as simple as possible. It doesn't need to be overwhelming, complicated. And I remember one of our mastermind members getting married, and I talked to her when she was trying to find other photographers, other vendors, and how difficult it is to find the correct time, because not everybody has a Calendly link to their website to schedule a call, or how difficult it is to sign a contract and do the payment. They don't have these things set. But if you do have these things set, it's going to give you an advantage.
Totally. Little things like that can be huge to couples. If you reduce like the friction to book you, it makes everybody's life easier. And I love that you think about that throughout your whole client experience. Like, how do I make their lives easy? How do I connect with them? How do I push the wrong people away and connect with the right people? And like, how can I just make this whole process as seamless and easy as possible? And that's why you end up, charging the big bucks, because you think about all that stuff. Yes, it's the best job in the world, but it's the best job because you love serving your couples too, and like just making their experience amazing. And I think that's what really truly makes an awesome elopement photographer. And then the second best job in the world is mine, because I get to see you guys.
You get to see people succeeding because of you.
Yeah, literally, like, I get the chills all the time, getting to see where you guys started and then where you're at, and like continuing to grow and like changing your family legacy and like giving yourself freedom and options. Like, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it for you guys. Like, it's life-changing stuff. And I'm just really proud of you because you did all the things. And I mean, you only have 249 Instagram followers, and you're booking $8,000 elopements.
Yeah, the Instagram account followers, they don't matter. I mean, it's more about the quality than the quantity. I got my very first booking when I had 140 Instagram followers, and the booking was from Instagram.
Yeah.
Like $8,800.
Proof they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. This was such a great talk. I'm so proud of you. I'm so sad that you're leaving us in the mastermind, but you've grown your little wings and you're ready to fly the nest, which is exactly what I want, even though I'm going to miss you. But we'll be Instagram buddies, and we'll have to meet up somewhere in Europe at some point and like hang out, because I know we were talking about that earlier and then we went randomly. And anyway, we'll have to do that. But thank you so much, Eva. Now, where can people find you on, what's your website and your Instagram?
So it's all Elopements with Eva. My website is elopementswitheva.com. Instagram is Elopements with Eva. TikTok is Elopements with Eva. So very simple.
Perfect. And it's EVA, not AVA.
EVA, yes.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. And I know people learned a lot, and I'm so happy that you're on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us on this week's episode of Stoked. If you enjoyed the show and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend. If you're looking for more inspiring elopement photography content, check us out on Instagram at Megan McPhail. And if you'd like to hear more about my business coaching and how I can personally help you hit six figures as an elopement photographer, then check out my website at www.meganmcphail.com.